The following content is sponsored and does not necessarily reflect the views of WATD Radio. Now, Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Be a part of the show. Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Paul Solano.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I'm sure you recognize this is not Paul's voice. Thank you for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for kids, dogs, and your ugly neighbors. My name is Dave Boyle. I am filling in for my dear friend Paul. I keep telling him I'm going to change the name to Dave's Dialogue and see what he decides to do with that. Sitting next to me is the lovely Queen Cyrus.
Hi, everyone.
Tim gives me a round of applause. I appreciate that. I'm filling in for Paul today while he's doing his backyard barbecue in Methuen for the Pearl Street Station restaurant. In studio with me, we're going to have three amazing special guests, and I'm going to kind of tie in a fourth. I have the Hawks brothers here, the oldest being Camden, the middle being Paxton, the youngest being Beckett. What is unique about these three gentlemen? They are all in scouting. Cam is an Eagle Scout. Paxton is about, I'm going to say, he's at the 90% mark, and Beckett is just starting. And believe it or not, this is going to be the real fun part. Tim, behind the booth, is an Eagle Scout. I was shocked to hear that story. Not because I don't expect greatness from you, but I just had no idea.
Yes, I am. Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Well, yeah, we'll drag you into the conversation in a little bit. Paul usually likes to give his shout out to Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick, who listens on the Odyssey app. So hello, Chef Felipe. I hope you're listening in. I want to do a couple of quick shout outs. The Pembroke Arts Festival we were at last night, absolutely wonderful. And if you drive through the center of Pembroke right now wondering what's going on, we saw the Touch-It trucks. We saw the antique cars.
Face painting.
Face painting.
Bring your kids. Bring your kids.
It's a wonderful day. It was so much fun. Last night was a blast. All the awards. If you see some of the stuff that's out there, Mike and Kathleen were my guests a couple weeks ago and did an absolutely amazing job with this. And again, here's my fun part. I love doing this. I give a shout out to my buddy Mike on the North River. Mike, I love you. You know that. Senor Pablo sitting on the beach down in Hummerock. I know you're listening. To all my friends at Sandy's Coffee Shop, especially Sheriff Bill. And I've got to say hello to young Henry. I promised his grandfather I would do that. To JB, Will, and Arjun, I got my kids' audience. So life is good. So, guys, I know this is going to be a unique situation for you. And basically, we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then we're going to kind of jump and talk to Shelly on what they call Tech Talk. And then we're going to come back and do the rest of the show around you guys. But a little kind of a quick little background, Cam, like how old you are and what you're doing, and then we'll kind of work our way down. You guys kind of sat out of order on me. It should have been in order, but we'll go from there. So, Cam, let me start with you, buddy.
Well, first off, I'm 19. I am in community college right now. Be Pacific. I'm in Cape Cod Community College for aviation maintenance technology. I probably was an Eagle Scout around last year, and it's been heaven ever since.
Wow, heaven ever since.
Well, I was blessed to be at that ceremony. His parents asked me to speak, and it was quite an honor for me. And I will point out that one of the projects, and I want you to touch on this, you dedicated to my late wife up at the thing.
I did.
That was an absolute class move. I will never forget that. I will give a shout out. Cam does work for me part-time at a private security company,
yep.
And he's the youngest supervisor in the company. So that says a lot about being an Eagle Scout. We're going to jump over to you real quick, Beckett.
Yes, hello. I am 15 years old. I am going to my sophomore year at Pembroke High School. I have a couple leadership positions. I'm the class president. I'm also a Life Scout and Boy Scouts. I'm working on my Eagle Scout, working on formulating what I want to do for my Eagle project.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This guy's driven. And you
what a
have
family.
to be, right?
I'm going to give a shout out to your mom and dad. I just, unbelievable.
Absolutely.
The job, that Melinda and Walter have done is just absolutely amazing. I said, if you could model 3 kids and have them come out as any combination of these kids, you'd be thrilled. Paxton, we're going to go down the end to you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm 17 years old, and I'm going into my senior year at Pembroke High School, and I'm currently a part of the National Honor Society. And I just wrapped up my Eagle project, where I made a cookbook for the senior center.
Wow. Look at this family.
Underachievers.
Totally underachievers.
Absolute
I mean, come on.
Underachievers.
Just kidding.
The food was great for the cookbook, I will say.
Well, that's a passion you have, Paxton. We talked about this. You like to cook.
Yeah,
And I like to drink wine, so this is kind of a perfect combination.
I like to eat, so
That's you could never tell. I said you're real thin, heaven knows. So I'm going to say we all started as Cub Scouts in Pembroke.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, I actually was part of the first ever Lion group. So that's like I started when I was in kindergarten. Pembroke never had a group of Lions, which is like the youngest until me. And yeah, I've been doing it since I was 5 years old.
All right. And how about
Yeah, I also started when I not in kindergarten but in first grade, and from there on just continued with it.
So I kind of feel like I'm on the dating game here. Bachelor number 1, Bachelor number 2, Bachelor number 3. So it's definitely good. I'm laughing as I do this because I know these gentlemen so well. They're such unbelievably good kids. And we were kind of talking about this, and I think we actually came up with a definite answer. How many Eagle Scouts have come out of Pembroke? I think it was since 1984. We seem to be somewhere around the 80 number.
I think it's about like 81, 82.
All right, Cam, you said you were 77?
77.
Okay.
I think Paxton will be the 84th or 82nd or 83rd.
Yeah, I've been told, and this is no dig to Marshfield, Scituate, or any of the other small towns around here, that Pembroke could have more Eagle Scouts per capita over the last 50 years than anywhere in the United States of America.
is that why Pembroke is so safe?
Yeah.
Might be.
Well, I'll give you a quick story. When we were at the rec center last night, I had asked Cyrus to run across the street to pick something up, and she goes, "Is it safe?" We're in downtown Pembroke. I was like, yeah. I said, you might even see a car. I said, you better be careful crossing the street.
For those of you who are listening in, they are laughing at me in the studio.
Well, we take the girl out of the city and see what happens. These are the wonderful things. Tim, did you start as a Cub Scout?
Yes, I did with Pack 40? Pack 40 or 47 in Plymouth, and then went over to Troop 47.
Okay,
And,
there we go.
and my dad actually, he was Cub Master for a while too.
Was he really?
Yes. Yep.
Holy, I'm learning more stuff.
Yep.
This is absolutely amazing. I said, I can't wait to actually the podcast. My friend Paul does a podcast of the show, and I just find this absolutely amazing. I will get a copy for you guys each, and I will certainly get it
And
for your parents.
while I have a moment, can I talk a little
Please,
motorsports?
sure. Oh, my heavens.
Do you guys follow motorsports at all? NASCAR or anything? Kind of, sorta.
F1 a little bit.
F1? Okay, all right. I appreciate the F1, but what I like about NASCAR is the durability of the cars. Because F1 and Indy, you smack the wall, you're done for the day, right? But NASCAR keeps evolving and changing every year. I saw something today looking down the road to 2030. There's a lot of stuff on the table. They're talking about maybe doing like midweek races and that kind of stuff. It's crazy. But this weekend, we're back in action. All 3 series were off last weekend at Iowa Speedway we are. And they're implementing a new rule this weekend. I know F1 and them, they race start to finish, no interruptions unless there's a crash or a natural caution, right?
Unless it's a safety car, I believe.
Okay, so NASCAR used to do that, but for I don't know how long now, they've broken the races into 3 stages, and there's a scheduled caution. There's a certain length for each stage, but what they do is, if there was a natural caution, someone crashed before that stage, they'd go back and race, and then they'd have the caution for the stage end. So what they're doing this weekend, if they're within 10 laps of the end of the stage and there's a natural caution, that will count as the end of the stage. So more green flag, less of, and also changing up the strategy too, because think about it. You're in the car, it's like, all right, we crashed, there's 6 laps to go before the end of the stage, we'll stay out, we won't pit. That's not going to happen now. That's going to be the end of the stage, so it's going to mix things up. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
I think when I first walked in, I mentioned motocross, but yes, you're more of the NASCAR guy, so I apologize for that.
I like the motocross too, but NASCAR, that's my thing.
That's the passion.
I think that new rule will bring some good underdog stories too in NASCAR.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And what's really cool, I used to always be a Cup follower. I only follow the Cup series. The Busch, well, it used to be the Busch series, now it's O'Reilly. And the Truck series was kind of like, But watching them now, you're seeing, like you say, the underdogs, the younger drivers that are up and coming. One of them being Corey Heim. He's going to be full-time in the Cup Series next year for 23XI, which is co-owned and run by Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. And he's a monster. He's won 2 Cup Series races this year, and Crown Jewels. He ran the Brickyard 400 2 weeks ago at Indy, and they raced a road course on the Coronado Air Naval Base in California.
Oh, wow.
A few weeks ago for the first time. He won that one too, and he got the truck championship last year. He's a monster.
Wow.
The kids coming up, watch out. The veterans they're in big trouble.
That is very impressive. Just
Well,
winning 2 races.
I better get Shelley on, or I'm probably going to get in trouble here, right?
Yes, enough about that. Let's get back
This
to
is
the
our
show.
Tech Talk segment.
Yes, she's an important lady. Keep us in our tech stuff safe and smoothly running.
Shelley, do I have you?
I am here, yes. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Shelley.
Hello.
That is
I
the
was
lovely.
enjoying this NASCAR conversation. This was good.
Oh, thank you, Shelley. Thank you.
Well, again, I think this whole show, Shelley, and I hate to cut into your segment. I said I'm sitting here with 4 Eagle Scouts. I feel like underachiever. I have 2 official and 2 in the pipeline. I said I'm really feeling bad about myself here that I didn't do anything with my life. But what do you have for us today?
Well, I think you probably did a lot in your life and you continue to do so. But today we are going to talk about old school tech and how old school skills meet new school tech. So with that, we're going to roll right in. As we know, it's right here in the heart of summer, and this is a time of year when so many of us are getting outside. Maybe not today, it's a little hot and muggy, but we might be camping, taking walks in the woods, maybe even heading to the beach, going boating, visiting a state park, or taking even a road trip. So with that, and with some Eagle Scouts joining us today, I thought it would be important to talk about how generations, we've talked about what preparedness looks like, old school versus new school tech ways. So with new technology, it doesn't replace it, but it helps us become even more prepared. So with smartphones sitting right in our pockets, we have some pretty amazing tools that we can show up better prepared. So the first one is looking at downloading the map before you go. Right? In the past, we had our paper maps, and we circled where we were going, we memorized it, and we just walked out the door and knew how to find our way. Well, we have this new incredible tool that is the GPS. And with our phones, we can type in any address and phone number, and we know exactly where we're going. But what happens if there is no cell service? That is the thing that we need to think about. As there is offline maps, they become incredibly useful. For example, Google Maps lets you download an area on your phone ahead of time before you take that trip. And if you're connected to Wi-Fi, Google Maps, you tap your profile picture, and it'll let you take it offline. So download the area you're going to visit. This is really important. Again, so many times, especially no matter where you might be, cell phone service may not work for a multitude of reasons. So again, you want to make sure you have access and you're able to continue, navigating even while you're driving. So many times we've become reliant on that digital navigation system, and we definitely still need to remember these old-fashioned tips because they work, and we were able to find our way through before technology existed. But always carry a paper map as well. It's also just very helpful. The second thing is our phones has a compass, right? Many times we don't think about our phones having that. On the iPhone, there's actually an app called the Compass that's already pre-installed for many Android phones. There's plenty of apps you can download, and it depends on the manufacturer what they, how they work or how they don't work in terms of what you're looking for specifically. But what I'm going to suggest is before you wander into the wilderness, relying solely on your smartphone compass, again, I want you to think about how directions work, figuring out your mapping tools, and reminding ourselves that technology is good for the before, but you want to make sure you're not getting lost through this. Now, the next one is one of my favorite ones that I've really adapted to, which is the Google Lens, using your camera to learn about what's around you. So, for example, modern phones on the, if you have the, on your phone, the Google search bar, at the very end, there's a square with a circle in it. And if you hit that and open it, you can take a picture of almost anything. I do it all the time, whether it's, a flower or a plant or a certain type of fish I might see, and it gives me information. If I'm looking like, hey, I like that lamp at someone's house, and I take a picture of it, it'll also tell me where I can buy it. So it's a pretty incredible tool that I highly recommend using and just playing with because it's lots of fun. But the one thing that I will say is that it is powered by AI. And the one thing I want to remind us all is that AI identification as a source is great, but at the same time, don't rely on it. AI and image recognition can make mistakes, and it's important to really understand what that is, what you're reading and reviewing. So check your sources, learn how to use it, but also understand that there are dangers to it as well. Now, this one we've talked about before as a tool, but again, I just like to remind people, especially during this time of heat, we might not stay hydrated and we're outside, but our phones have the emergency SOS system on there. Again, very important for making sure that it's activated. Many phones, right, have the feature already in there, but have your contact information. If you need certain medications or you're allergic to certain medications, make sure that those are set up in there. Make sure your emergency contact folks are set up. I know a lot of these new satellites in cars, on phones, are actually starting to, call. So, for example, if some people have the Apple Watches, those are starting to, notify, like if your heart rate goes down, they're starting to make notifications to either your doctor or emergency help. So again, those are wonderful, but again, satellite connectivity and cellular aren't always available. So just making sure to think about how to then protect your battery so that you also have access. Again, these are all remarkable tools, but again, if these are not turned on, they will not work. So make sure your emergency SOS is turned on if you're going out. And then the last thing is making sure to protect your battery. Like during this time of year, again, leaving your battery or your phone in the car, letting it overheat, it will break down your battery very, very quickly. So some quick tips of thinking about how to turn on. What you want to do is turn on your low power mode or turn on the iPhone. You have a battery saver. Most Androids do as well. So this, lower the brightness of your screen. These tips will allow you to save battery power. One of the tricks that I like to use is airplane mode. Airplane mode is one of those that if I'm somewhere and I'm not going to really need my phone, I'm not expecting calls, let's say I want to go on a hike or a run, I will turn on my airplane mode. This way it saves the battery. No one can bother me. It gives me my quiet time. But at the same time, if I need to reconnect, I can. It saves my battery power, but it also, shuts down all those apps in the background so that you're not, pulling down that battery energy. That's really the most important part. Again, airplane mode also disconnects us from normal cellular tower connections. So one thing that means is that, again, you're not going to receive calls. So if you are expecting a call, don't turn it off or don't put it in airplane mode. But again, it is one way to save battery power while you're doing that. And again, all of this is about conserving battery energy. It's not about having enough power to take pictures or listen to music. It's about making sure you have enough power that if you actually need to use your phone for an emergency, you can. So now let's jump into that tech myth of the week. If you have a smartphone with you, am I prepared? Well, the truth is a smartphone is only one tool. A phone can't replace water. It can't replace, appropriate clothing or know where you're going or guarantee any cellular service. But technology works best when it is part of our preparation, not the whole piece of preparation. So before you head out on your summer adventure, take 1 minute to make sure your phone's charged, you have a map, you know where you're going, you've checked the weather, and someone else might know where you're going as well. That's always very helpful. So again, we don't want you to become a wilderness expert, but we do want you to become prepared. And perhaps the biggest technology lesson today is sometimes think about the newest technology replaces skills people used before it. And again, reminder, this isn't about replacing any skills. This is about making sure you're prepared, having extra technology tools to actually walk you through and give you more tools to be prepared out there in these crazy times. So whether you're heading to I
have a quick question for you. We're running out of time. So,
okay.
So I just want to know, in terms of the phone compass, because I think that's a really, really helpful feature, is that something we need to calibrate?
No, it will automatically calibrate for you.
I think, Shelley, you're amazing. I've heard a lot about your tech talk, and just being here to listen to you live is phenomenal.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah. No, go out and try the phone compass. It's lots of fun. It'll, spin you around and see where you're going. But, again, it's having those tools at your hands. So, I do wish everybody a wonderful and safe day, and always happy to provide these tech tips.
Well, Shelley, I didn't give you your due, and I should say global media firm owner of Toolbox Entertainment, Vice President of Technology Literacy for PodPro, and a past Paul Ponders podcast guest. Say that fast 3 times. Holy heavens. Thank you for your time. We do have to cut away to commercial, but thank you. I'm assuming Paul's back next week. If not, you get to talk to me again.
Thank you,
Well,
Shelley.
it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. You guys have a great show, and if anybody wants to reach us, you can reach us at info@podproentertainment.com.
You're the best. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, Tim, we got to cut away to you and pay the bills.
Have you tried Bryantville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand it to Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and once again, this is Dave Boyle filling in for Paul Ponders. But thank you for listening on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, and we'll put Eagle Scouts on the other side. How's that? Feel free to call in or text 781-837-4900. You can get us on the Odyssey app. We appreciate you guys listening to us. You go to paulponders.com to find subscriptions, links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders on WATD shows. Believe it or not, this is season 2, show 35, and 35 is my lucky number. It's a wonderful thing. So usually at this time, we have a segment, Health and Wellness Survival Tips with Sharon Filiaw. She is actually off this weekend, so I get to jump right in and talk to my guests. And we've got a series of questions. Cyrus, I think you want to ask the boys a couple of questions. I should say the young men. I'm calling them boys. The young men.
Yes, sir. Okay. So we have 3 amazing either Eagle Scouts or soon-to-be Eagle Scouts with us. Now, the question, we've got 3 big questions here. First one is, what is the motivation for someone to join Scouts? What is the benefit?
I would say the biggest benefit of joining it is that you're able to do things that other kids might not be able to do, whether it's, going whitewater rafting, having experiences like camping and stuff like that, learning these life skills that are so important. I would say that's probably the biggest benefit.
That's
To add on to that, I would also say the people you meet in Scouts, you make so many connections. I know from my personal experience, my best friends are all from Scouts. We've been friends since we joined, and it seems like it's not going to end. So, I mean, just the connections you make.
Beautiful.
And I think the biggest reason is the values you learn. Like, I've learned so much about leadership and the values they teach you, like honesty, integrity, and serving your community. Like, I feel like are really important for everyone to learn.
Okay, so it seems like there's a lot of value here. Now, so the question that I think people want to know is, who are some famous Scouts that are out there that we know of? Any household
Famous Eagle
names?
Scouts.
Famous
Eagle
Eagle
Scouts.
Scouts. Any famous Eagle Scouts? Any household names?
Well, to start, I know that the first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, he was an Eagle Scout, and he is so impactful to the world and to the history, not only of the U.S., but of the world as a whole. So yeah, I think Neil Armstrong.
Can you pull one out, Paxton?
And also President Gerald Ford, he was also an Eagle Scout, and it just shows to like what that can do for you and like set out for your life. Like all these amazing people have been Eagle Scouts, and probably what they learned helped them get to where they were.
That's a great point. Cam, do you have one?
I don't believe so. I remember. I'm trying to think of one. Becca, do you have another one?
That's where we put you guys on the spot. Well, we have Tim behind the booth, by the way.
Yeah.
We have 4 Eagle Scouts we're working on, 2
Right.
current and 2 in the pipeline.
Yes.
So we have to make sure, Cyrus, we give credit where credit is due.
Tim, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Okay, as an Eagle Scout and someone who's been through this whole journey, what are some challenges you would say that you've learned how to face, and that the experience of going through being an Eagle Scout has helped you with?
Well, one thing for sure is learning how to take charge in situations, leadership. Piggybacking on what, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Cam, what you said about doing things in Scouts you might not do otherwise. That's one thing I really loved about Scouts, different experiences. We went on yearly ski trips. I don't think I would have gone skiing if I hadn't been in Scouts. We'd stay overnight on the USS Salem, and we do like drills and like fire drills and first aid, and we'd be able to earn some of our merit badges just by going to the ship.
Wow.
And of course, you've got the Klondike Derbies. Yeah, it's cold out. Hopefully, you have snow to get the sleds around. But again, learning lots of stuff and just great experiences, making new friends. I unfortunately didn't make it to any of the jamborees, but just great experience. And it's something, maybe if you're not a sports person or something else in school, this is another great thing to get you involved in the community.
Well, I just did a little Googling here. This is me, the 65-year-old guy, Googling, which is fun.
Good for you.
Famous Eagle Scouts, Steven Spielberg.
That's right.
Okay. I mean, there's a guy. Then there's another guy that went on to a pretty good career. Have you ever heard of a little place called Walmart? Sam Walton, Eagle Scout.
Wow.
Did not know that. Tim, and I think you gave me a statistic, like 1% of Scouts become Eagle.
Yeah. And this
says 4, so I'm not sure.
And this was 25, 26 years ago. It was about maybe 1% of all Scouts make it to Eagle.
Is that true?
Yeah.
It's that rigorous.
Well, a couple of the boys mentioned that Paxton, might have been you, said that friends kind of drop out. Kids you started with, I think you said you were like in the youngest group back at, you start with say 10 kids, and all of a sudden you're down to 8 kids, and then a couple of years later, and some kids come in. I mean, I'm sure some kids come in later. I want to say C.J. Agnew was probably a late scout.
No, he was there before me.
Was he? For some reason I thought C.J. came in a little later.
No, CJ Agnew was there before me.
Okay, all right. I used to serve on the school committee with his dad. Great people.
But I would say one thing too is that if becoming an Eagle Scout was easy, everybody would do it. So that's why you don't see a lot of Eagle Scouts now.
That's a really good point.
That's an amazing point. That's really good, Cam. Paxton, in your comment, you said kids you started with have dropped out for various reasons.
Yeah. When I started, I had like a big group of friends. There's like 8 of us, and so we all went into Boy Scouts together, and it was so much fun. Like you got to go on camping trips with your friends, go hiking. Then like as the years go on, like they slowly drop out. Like now it's just me and my one other friend in Scouts. So that kind of teaches you. Like I stuck with it, like persevered through, and to where I am today.
I would say, is Gavin Campbell a friend of
Gavin
yours?
Campbell is a friend of mine.
I know he's doing this also. I'll give Gavin a plug. He cuts the grass for me. Great kid.
Oh, great. Yeah. The yard looks great. Thank you, Gavin.
Wonderful young man. All right. You want to ask him about...
I do. I have so kind of to what you're talking about, how only the certain ones who really invest, really put the energy and have the mental capacity, I guess physical capacity, learn leadership skills, end up becoming an Eagle Scout. And what I understand from just talking before we got on the air is that to become an Eagle Scout, you have Eagle projects. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So can you speak a little bit about what that means, what that entails?
I would say the Eagle project is like your final project that you do, and it's pretty much something that you do for your community, or I would say, or outside of your community. But for example, I did like what's called a Gaga Ball pit. So it's where kids go play a game inside. It's the best thing ever. And you do that, you build it, you have to get funding for it, donations. I will say David will give you your first $100.
And then who gives you your second 100?
Patrick Chilcott.
Got it. Good to know.
Yep.
Heard that, Patrick?
But the whole entire process goes over maybe a couple months, I would say. And then you're pretty much doing a whole bunch of paperwork in there too.
Okay.
And then Beckett, now to you.
And to add on to that, I think the Eagle Project is a combination of all the skills you learn in Scouts, not just how to lead, but it's kind of a culmination of all the skills you learn in Scouts. So that's kind of like your big test. It's kind of like a final exam at the end of a class.
To really apply what you've learned all those years. Okay, so what's yours? What's your Eagle Project going to be?
So I am in Life Scout and I'm working on it. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for my Eagle Scout. And the process is kind of like you got to figure out what you've done and how you can give back to your community. So for me, I've done music for a couple years, and it's been a real big part of my life. And so I'm thinking along the lines of how I can give back to the music department in Pembroke. So that's how I want to give back to my community.
Really, it's about paying it forward is what it sounds like.
It really is. No, here I'm going to talk to Paxton for 1 second. You chose cooking because it's like a passion.
Yes. So I've always loved cooking. I've liked making meals, making food for my mom, baking her birthday cake on her birthday. So I thought, how can I combine my passion with serving the community? So I decided to do a recipe book and host a luncheon. And I saw like the seniors were kind of like an overlooked part of the community, not always included. So I decided to collect recipes and the stories behind the recipes and compile them together to make them feel more included. And I hosted a luncheon, cooking some of the recipes to for them, and host them at the community center and fed them.
Beautiful.
It was great.
I mean, the impact you have on the community, the leadership that you implement, and I think the examples that you set for the future generations. Like I'd like to talk about that. I know you need to.
Yeah, we actually up against break, but real quick, Tim, do you remember your Eagle Project?
Oh yes, I do, and I wish it was something that
changed the world.
Well, it was meant to. I wish it lasted long, but down by the Plymouth Airport, there's a I don't want to call it a nursery school, but my mission was to build a visual and sound barrier from all the aircraft taking off and landing. I planted these pine tree seedlings that were supposed to grow really big. I cleared out the area. It was a lot of work, but I approached the airport manager at the time, Tom Mayer. Anyway, with the idea, and he loved it. So the troop came down, and we got it done. We planted the seedlings, but there's a lot of upkeep trying to keep the other stuff from taking over and making sure that the pine tree seedlings grow. So if anyone out there in Plymouth or maybe someone who else is looking for a Eagle Project idea, that would
I would say I go to school down at Plymouth Airport.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
excellent.
Shout out to cohort 28 for passing all of our finals last week.
All right. Nice.
Wow.
All right, we have to cut away for break, but I think when we come back, we want to talk about how the other scouts help you guys. Cam, I remember when you were doing the ball pit. So, Tim, why don't we cut away and we'll sell some product and get some business going, and we'll jump back. Thanks for listening.
Have you tried Bryantville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70 plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and again, this is Dave Boyle sitting in for my good friend Paul Solano. Thank you for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD. Calling is 781-837-4900. Usually at this segment, we have the financial wing of Olympic Proportions, sponsored by P&S and All Marketing Group and Riverworks Credit Union, NMLS number 410564. I know you have to read those disclaimers. With Mr. Paul Crowley of RWCU, an Olympian and former Boston Bruin winger Dave Jensen, senior loan officer. Both of those gentlemen are off today. I do remember speaking to Dave Jensen. We were doing this probably about 6 months ago, and Dave and I knew a bunch of the same people, and we took the total show sideways. It was kind of funny to do it, but it was fun. But in studio with me is the lovely Cyrus.
Hi, everyone.
And I have the Hawks brothers. I have Camden, Beckett, and Paxton. Camden is an Eagle Scout. Paxton is just wrapping up. He's at the finish line, and Beckett is just going to be starting. And, of course, the Wizard of Oz behind the booth, Tim, also an Eagle Scout, which I learned today. So that was great news to hear. So we got a couple more questions for you guys. We're going to pump them out in whatever order you guys decide to do it in. The one that I had is you all had friends that are helping you. You know, Beckett, at some point you'll have friends that are going to help you do this. But, you know, Cam, if you give a shout-out to a couple of guys, or even Mr. Pierce, I think, was pretty significant helping you.
Mr. Pierce was definitely one of the biggest helpers I had, just helping me with everything. Like, I know one part that I really needed was getting like the wood to build my Eagle project. I would have to, if I didn't get it donated, I would have to raise money to buy it.
Yeah.
And he gave me a place, and I went there, and they donated me the wood there because he knows him. So Chris Pierce, shout out to you.
Well, you learn contacts in life, right? We've met a lot of interesting people doing the security business, have we not?
We have met a lot of interesting people, that is for sure.
All right, I'm going to jump over to Paxton. I'm going to skip you, Beckett, for a second.
Yeah, one of the biggest person who helped me was my friend Gavin Campbell. Like, he helped me, and like we worked together. Like, I was planning my project, he was planning him, so we'd throw ideas off of each other. And he did a project for the Pembroke Food Pantry. He did a fantastic job. He built them shelves so they could store the rest of their food, and I think he did a great job. Also, an adult who helped me, Chef Jason Walker. He helped me plan the menu for my luncheon and helped me cook on the day of the luncheon, and he was such a big help with me.
Do you know the name of his restaurant? We can give him a shout out, or no, you don't?
I forget the name of his restaurant, but it's in the Hingham Shipyard.
Hingham Shipyard. There we go. That makes it easy. Beckett, we're going to jump at you for a second.
Yeah. So for me, it takes a lot to try and plan an Eagle project, and so for me, a lot of the leaders in the troop have been a select few have been really helpful and teach me how to generate those ideas and what I should be focusing on. So I know Tim Meehan, has been a big guide for me.
Great guy.
Love Tim. Great guy.
Big fan of Mr. Meehan's.
And I'm best friends with his son, who's also who's been in the senior patrol with me. He's the same age. We've been best friends for a while, and so I think being able to work on your Eagle project at the same time with a friend is always like, it kind of helps you stay committed and helps you stay in it. So yeah,
that's amazing. Cyrus, you had a couple questions.
I do. All right. So we're speaking with the future leaders of America right here. Kim, Beckett, Paxton, Hawk, right? Okay, question for each of you. You have time right now to tell the community one thing that you want people to know. One thing. What is your message? Let's start with Cam.
One thing I want people to know, I have to think on that really quick. So I know Paxton and Beckett are probably a little bit more prepared.
We'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, specific to Boy Scouts, is that Boy Scouts is an investment, and it's an investment not only for your community, but for yourself as well. I think it's difficult at first, and it's a big commitment, especially when you're so young. But I think it's worth it down the road, and you should invest in yourself now so that you're rich in life later.
Beautiful.
My message is like, help the community, like help others who can't help themselves. You know, in Boy Scouts you learn the slogan, do a good turn daily. So every day try and help someone else. And I know Dave Boyle does this every day. He does a good deed. You know, he'll buy someone a cup of coffee. Such a great guy. And I think you should take it upon yourself to try and help other people. Because if we all help each other, we can live happily.
Beautifully said.
I do like Paxton's because it definitely a big part of it too is helping people that can't help themselves. I would say just do something kind for somebody today. They might be having the worst day ever, and if you go and do that for them, it might make them remember you. Have a great day.
Beautiful. Tim, your turn.
I'm sorry, what was the question? I was half listening.
That's fine. Tim's over there working. One thing you'd like to share with our audience about being an Eagle Scout. One message, like what was impactful? What's something you want to share?
I don't know. It's a like we mentioned earlier. It's a tough accomplishment. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of work. But the reason that percentage is so small because sometimes Scouts isn't the only priority. There's dating, there's sports, there's other things in life besides scouting. It's a big commitment. But being an Eagle Scout, you learn so much that you may not learn otherwise, and it's a great experience.
Tim, thank you. That actually brings up my next question. So yeah, it seems like the numbers keep going down as you make it further and further into the process of becoming a scout. Were there ever moments that you Hawk brothers felt like, man, you know, now I'm thinking about stepping away from this? Did you ever come across that in your mind?
I would say, yeah. I mean, there's definitely like points in time where I was like, you know, like I'm kind of just getting burnt out of this. It's like, you know, doing it for over 10 years, it's definitely a very long time. And especially when you get towards your ego project and doing it, you definitely get burnt out from doing it. So it's like, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, I really don't want to do it. And then you're like, when you finally do it, you're like, I'm glad I did it.
What made you persevere?
I would say my mom made me want to persevere because I feel like she would get, my mom and dad, they would have been like, you know, I would say probably disappointed if I didn't like complete it.
Oh, Mama Hawk,
Yep.
driving the bus. Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Okay. I want to hear from both of you as well. Any moments that almost broke you, but that you persevered through?
I would say for me it was when my friends started like dropping out because like we had such a tight-knit group, and it was like, oh, we would do everything together, like go camping, do these adventures. But when they started dropping out, I'm like, oh, it's not as fun anymore. And it was like I'd already reached life, so I had like freshman year, so I had a couple more years ahead of me to get Eagle. But then so I was like, I wasn't literally looking forward to it, and it kind of lost the fun for me. Then I had stuck through it. I had one friend left, Gavin Campbell, and me and him stuck together and pushed through to like achieve to get to where we were.
What does reaching life mean?
Reaching life is it's the rank before Eagle Scout. So like there's you go from Scout, Tenderfoot, second class, first class, Star, Life, then Eagle.
So it's different levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's different
Understood.
requirements for like each
Understood.
rank that you have to do.
This is really insightful.
Yeah, I did not know that.
We're learning so much right now.
I'm going to take a second to jump in. You guys had mentioned helping, and I know I brought this up before. I was blessed to be the commencement speaker at Springfield College a couple of years ago. I always tell people, if you want to know anything about me, Google Springfield College Commencement 2025. But my dad used to tell me, he said, you help those who can't help themselves. You take care of those who can't take care of themselves. And you defend those who can't defend themselves. And I have lived by that. That's where I was brought up. I was talking, my mother was a Marine in World War II. My father, was a military police officer, and it was amazing. So the other thing I wanted to point out to you guys, too, is obtaining this rank, as Cam has, as Tim has, and Paxton soon to be, I always tell people they can't take it away from you. It's like a college degree. Once you get it, you have it. I happen to have a black belt in karate. No one can ever take it away. Now, I got that black belt in 1983. That was a while ago. And it's funny, I tell people I should actually have a second one, but unfortunately at the time my instructor passed away. And it's kind of a disciple thing. If I studied under Cam, that's who you study. And if Cam passes away, I just can't move over to Beckett, if that makes any kind of sense. But this is a credential that's going to stay with you for life. We had the pleasure of talking to Tom, who was the lawyer that did the show before us. And I think he said his son was an Eagle Scout, and all the stuff he went on to. I think he said he worked for the CIA or something or other.
Yeah, he said his son worked for the CIA, I believe.
I mean, think of that. I mean, it's just, I'm not sure you guys grasp what you're accomplishing here. And for the radio listeners, this is 3 brothers who are doing this. And again, I go back. Your parents have done an amazing job.
Clearly, yes.
If they could write a book and clone you guys, I'm just not sure.
The world would be a better place.
Yeah. And the thing I like about the Hawks boys, they like spend time with their parents. They don't outgrow mom and dad. It's like, I know you play golf with your dad and you've gone on trips and you've gone to see cousins, you guys respectfully, and I'm not trying to blow smoke, you are an amazing 3 young men, and I think you are absolute role models. I think this is something we should pick up on later. I might even talk to my friend Christine James, the news director here, and I said, Christine, this is amazing. You're going to get basically 3 Eagle Scouts out of one family. Think of that.
I look at so for those of you who can't see them in person, I mean, these are upstanding citizens. All right, like if my 8-year-old son could turn out like them, which he's already on the right track, I mean, I'll be a very lucky mama. So
I think with the help of Dave, that will definitely happen.
Listen, this man,
Thanks,
you can't walk down the street without people stopping to share how helpful he is. So he makes me want to be a better person too.
I mean, Dave is the man, the myth, the legend.
That's what the shirt says. Yeah, I happen to be wearing a shirt that says "the man, the myth, the legend," so that is kind of funny. I'm a little egotistical at times, but
well deserved though.
Yeah.
We have one more brother who I want to hear from in terms of challenges, and you're very eloquent with the way you speak. So really, challenges, and any time through the Eagle Scout process that you so far felt like, man, this is a lot, and you wanted to take a step back, but you persevered because you're still going. Right?
Yeah, so it definitely is difficult. So in Scouts, there is definitely like an older group of guys and there's a senior patrol. There's like usually 3 assistant senior patrol leaders and a senior patrol leader, and they kind of lead the troop. That's different from Cub Scouts because the adults lead Cub Scouts, but the older boys lead the troop in Boy Scouts. And I would say there's a transition where you go from being a younger scout who kind of followed the leaders to being the leader, and you don't notice it at first, but there comes a point where you notice it, like, wow, we are the old guys now. And I think it's difficult. So I think that was probably like pretty difficult, but I think I managed it well, and yeah.
We're going to start to wrap up. Sarah said one more quick question. Maybe Cam will throw this to you.
Okay, great. Single
You're
mom.
the oldest brother.
Single mom here, so asking on behalf of the parents who do want to get their kids involved. Financial impact to become an Eagle Scout. Is the expense exorbitant? Is it manageable? Are there scholarships?
I think it's definitely manageable. Like, that is for sure. And I think becoming an Eagle Scout, when you leave and you become an Eagle Scout, there's so many scholarships that you can get when you're joining college. And I would say it's definitely helpful getting a job too.
Thank you, Cam.
For sure.
All right, on that, guys, we have to wind it down. Thank you for a great show. Thank you for those who are out there listening. Paul, thank you for letting me sit in. Tim, absolutely amazing as usual. Please stay tuned to ATD, the memories of Ron Dwyer, Ron, the grand poobah of musical memories. Listen to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders on WATD shows. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for listening. Shelley, always an amazing time listening to you. And don't forget the Pembroke Arts Festival. Boys, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Give
Dave.
Mom and Dad.
Thank you, Dave and Soros.
Say hi to Mom and
very
Dad for me.
Thank you,
Take care.
everyone.